Alexa, play Just Beat It.
Just Beat It is only available with Amazon Music Unlimited on this Echo Dot. It's free for 30 days and then
Are you kidding me?
And now through the magic of television.
No!
No? Okay.
Wait, you have a string showing.
We're filming. Mom, it's fast.
You have a string showing.
Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing, but okay, last take.
Don't, just let me film the intro first.
No, Ifoma, we need to first of all.
Hello everyone, my name is Charity, I'm the RHA secretary, and welcome to the final episode of season 1 of RHA EATS.
This is our family traditions episode, and you can see the setting is a little bit different. The introduction of our family is coming.
I'm Haley, and this is my dad, also known as the Father of the Year.
Hi, I'm Matt Taboni, and I'm here with my mom and my stepdad for this at-home edition of RHA EATS.
Today I'm going to be making salty oatmeal chocolate chunk cookies from Ina Garten's Make It Ahead book. And here to help me are my mom and my brother Luke. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. And our dogs. Come here. Duke, you want to say hi? This is Duke. Duke is going to help us. He's going to eat. He doesn't like cooking, but that's Penny.
My name is Judy. I'm the NCC for RHA, and for today's edition of RHA Eats, we'll be doing family traditions. So I'll be taking you through a typical dinner that I do with my family. So let's get started.
Hey y'all, it's Charity, and together with my mom, we'll be making akara, moi moi, and yam soup. Right now, my mom is preparing the black-eyed peas that will be used to make the moi moi and the akara. The skin of the beans need to be removed first, so my mom is washing and blending the black-eyed peas to make the skin removal process easier. The removed skin will float to the top of the blender, so use a strainer to help separate the skin from the beans.
Now that I'm done cleaning, the next thing is to put it in the blender to blend. Okay, I have already blended the beans, the clean black-eyed peas. So half of this is going to be for akara ball, and the half is going to be for the moi moi. The moi moi, I added more water into the moi moi, but the akara beans, all you need to do is to keep mixing it until it becomes fluffy.
Now my mom is greasing the pans used to make moi moi with olive oil, and then she's going to add in some extra ingredients to make a variety of moi moi. My mom will be adding ground beef and hard-boiled eggs to some of the moi moi, but you can skip this step. To season the moi moi, my mom is adding salt and some onions. However, you can season it to your own taste with whatever seasonings you have. So moi moi cooks through steam, so my mom added water to the bottom of the pot, and then we're going to cover it and we're going to gradually check on the amount of water in the pot and continue to add so that we don't run out of steam.
Some people will like to use spoon to put it, but hey, at home we use our hand to put it. It doesn't matter, even if you want to make small ones like nuggets, you still make it small, like especially when you have picky children who doesn't like to eat beans. Akara nuggets or akara ball is the easy way for you to get them to eat beans.
Really?
Yes.
Really, mommy?
I know, so yeah. I'm gonna be dishing them out like I've been doing in a basket, and I have it inside a dish, or you can put it inside a pot in order to drain the oil.
So now we're going to be making our yam soup. It's very simple. It's just like boiling potatoes, except we have like 7 other ingredients to use. So the first thing you're going to want to do for the yam soup is to cut and peel the yams, which I have already did. You're also going to want to add your fish. Yes. Now you want to add your water. So it turns out, my mom told me that when our family makes yam soup, we normally don't add utazi because she said that it makes the soup really bitter, but I don't know how bitter it would make the soup, but all she said was for me to try it.
You can try it. Try it.
Okay, I'm gonna take a small leaf.
You piggy kids can't eat that. Try it and see.
I'm a little scared now.
I never put it in what you eat, only what I eat or your grandma eats. Come on, be strong.
Now that our yams are almost done, and the way you can check if your yams are done is the same way you would check a potato, so like stick a fork or a knife in it. We're going to add just a little less than a handful of uziba. This is the last step for yam soup. So now everything is ready. We have our akara, our yam soup, and our moi moi. The difference between this moi moi and this moi moi is that this one was made with blended bell peppers added into the mixture, and this is the one with ground beef in it. They both taste great. I hope you try these recipes at home with your family.
So right now we're just slicing up the beef. So we're putting some brown sugar in there. A little bit of soy sauce. Oh, no, not soy sauce. Salt. And then just putting some soy sauce all over the beef. And then some flour as well. And we're just gonna let the beef marinate in the brown sugar, flour, soy sauce, and salt for a little bit. So while our beef is marinating, we're going to get started on our potatoes. So we have about 4 potatoes here, and we're just gonna peel all of them. So now that our potatoes are cut and our beef is marinating, we're going to cook the rice in our rice cooker. So we're gonna wash 2.5 cups of rice in like a pot or a bowl, whatever you have. Just washing it until the water is clear. So you want to do this a couple times so that your rice is clean. So this is the rule of thumb to know if you have enough water in your pot. Just putting your hand in there and kind of seeing if it reaches like mid-palm. And it was a little too much water, so we're just going to take some out. Yep, seems like just about enough water. So rice cooker is a must-have. So that's little great tune shows us that our rice is cooking. So as a side dish to our beef and our potatoes, we're going to be making some vegetables. I'm not entirely sure what they're called in English, but in Chinese they're called like gailan. So this is the vegetables we're making, and we're just going to clean them first. So before we wash them, my mom is actually cutting off the bottom of each of the stems. Okay, so we filled the sink up with some water. And now we're going to wash all the sand and dirt off of the vegetables. And then put them in the strainer to let them dry off. Our potatoes are all boiled, so now we're just going to drain them with whatever strainer that is. And just put it into a pot. And after this, we're going to use our wok and just stir fry the potatoes a little bit with some flavors, spices. So now we have both a pot of water boiling as well as our wok heating up with some oil on it. And then we're going to start stir frying our potatoes. Now we're going to throw the vegetables in the pot of boiling water and let them soften up and boil a little bit. So we're going to start stir frying the potatoes in the wok. There's some oil in there as well as we're going to pour some soy sauce in there for some flavor. Actually, that's not soy sauce. Oyster sauce. And now we're putting some soy sauce in. We typically just eyeball the measurements. So putting some salt in as well. now we're just putting some red chili pepper in there for a little bit of spice. And there you go. Our potatoes are pretty much done. Okay, so now we're just putting the beef in. So that was, what was that? I don't know what this is. It's bok jiao, so like white wine, I think. Just put in there, just like a little cap full of it. So our vegetables are done. And now we're gonna put some oyster sauce. Our rice is done. So now the dishes are done. Here are our potatoes. These are our vegetables with some oyster sauce and our beef. And we're all ready for dinner.
So Matt, what are we making today?
So Bob, today we're making our family's top secret chicken casserole recipe. So we'll show you all of it besides, of course, the secret ingredient, and then you'll be able to follow along the way.
Oh, that's why it's top secret.
So first let's start by cutting the broccoli and the cauliflower. So I'm gonna start cutting these up. Go ahead.
Let me show you how surgeons do this. Okay, first you gotta get the dead tissue out of the way. Then we take our knife, we get chopping on this stuff, okay? Cut your broccoli into little pieces quickly. As I always tell my residents, use the largest instrument possible to accomplish the task without cutting off your own fingers.
That looks really dangerous, Bob.
It's not. Not if you're careful.
So I've got a pot of water boiling here on the stove, so I'm going to drop our secret ingredient in. You just want to make sure that it's covered all the way. If it's not, you can just, add a little bit more water to it. Just put it in. What you want to do is you just want to cook the secret ingredient until it's not like pink anymore.
Let's remind the kids while they're watching that they shouldn't run with scissors either.
We're 20 years
I tried to be safe in the kitchen.
Oh, all the more reason.
Look, does everybody still have their fingers? Matt, do you still have all your fingers?
Nick broke his wrist running last month.
Doesn't matter, do you still have all your fingers? Safety in the kitchen. Safety first. Safety first.
So now we're going to parboil the broccoli and the cauliflower. Just cook it a little bit so that it can cook fully when it's in the oven.
Did you wash that first, Matt?
Yeah.
Why are you using such a big knife, Matt?
Bob told me to.
Always use the largest instrument possible for the job that you're trying to accomplish.
I'm just going to add the celery to the broccoli and the cauliflower because then it'll all get mixed into the dish together.
So now we're going to chop the secret ingredient so it can get all mixed in with the rest of the casserole.
Yeah, you just dice it into little pieces, little bite-sized pieces. This way people don't have to, cut it separately before they go to eat it. So, just edible-sized pieces.
So now we're going to start making the biscuits. Biscuits
by Bisquick.
Now we're going to start making the biscuits for the chicken casserole that will go in the casserole.
All right, you ready to put this all together?
Yep.
All right, so start with the secret ingredient. I put this in the bottom first. All right. Bob, you want to throw just a little bit of salt and pepper?
I'd love to.
That's not salt or pepper.
Pepper?
I have the salt.
Put a little salt on. We'll add the other stuff in a minute. All right, Matthew, go ahead and throw in the vegetables. Perfect. I usually throw in some frozen corn too. Some basil. That's good with the onion. Some basil. Really, that's good with the onion. Take the soup mixture. Pour it all over the top. You want it so it's nice and soupy because it'll sink in then.
How big are these?
Alright.
Like this?
Yeah, don't have anything to flip.
Now we're going to put it into the oven at 375 for about 40 to 45 minutes.
Dad, what are we making today?
We're making my world famous rolled Christmas cookies.
And highly demanded.
Highly demanded, and some of you may have had them at some point in time.
Yeah, I'll give it out a few every time you send them up.
Okay, so we're going to start with 3 sticks of softened butter.
Or slightly melted.
Or slightly melted. You will need 4 eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and 5 cups of flour, and also 2 cups of sugar.
You know, sugar cookies.
Yeah, they're sweet, like my daughter.
Stop.
So we're going to start by softening the butter and adding the sugar.
Creaming them together.
You need one of these too. This is called a mixer. Oh, it looks like we're there yet.
We're there? Oh, gosh.
So the dry ingredients are including 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 5 cups of flour.
You know, give or take.
Give or take.
If you notice, we're also wearing matching pajamas.
Now some people like to use a stand mixer. I have my own stand mixer right here. I generally try to mix it in a little at a time because the flour gets a little sticky. And the cookies should be combined, or flour should be combined with the wet ingredients until it is sticky icky.
What's next, Dad?
Well, now the dough is complete. We have to refrigerate it for a couple of days, couple hours, excuse me, or a day, overnight. So through the magic of television, the dough is complete. And we wrap it in a little bit of plastic wrap, saran wrap, stretch tight, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you use in your neck of the woods.
Something that's going to seal it up.
So it goes right in the middle here. But first, before you do that, you got to try it and make sure it tastes good.
Well, I mean, if you say so.
It's perfect. So to wrap it all up, nice and tight.
Okay.
Yep, that's good. Why don't you cut that out? There you go. Seal it up nice and tight and put it in the refrigerator. I usually do it overnight. It says 2 to 3 hours in the instructions.
Now that the dough is chilled for at least 24 hours, we can make cookies.
I like to work in small batches. Yeah!
Please don't cut your hand off.
The remaining dough that I'm not using, I back in the refrigerator. Thank you, Haley. So I don't know what kind of counter you have, but I would liberally spread flour on the counter. Then I have to soften up the dough, and as you can see, it's not that soft. It's been in the fridge for over a day, or just about 3 hours. Once your dough is workable, you just spread it out on your cookie counter or your cutting board or whatever you use.
This counter is just for cookies, by the way. It's our cookie counter.
And I like to get it to about
quarter inch to
1/8 of an inch, or 2/8 of an inch. So once I get it all rolled out nice and neatly, my beautiful daughter here will cut cookies.
That's my job.
Now the cookies go into the oven at 400 degrees for exactly 7 minutes. So remember that one more time. It's 400 degrees for 7 minutes.
Exactly.
Not a
7
second
minutes.
longer, not a second less.
Alright, so we're just about ready to take the cookies out of the oven in 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that our cookies have cooled down a bit, we're gonna ice them.
So I like to use royal icing, and we make our own. So we use a technique called flooding. So when you flood, you would outline. I need my glasses. I can't see without these when I'm doing delicate work. So the object of flooding is to just outline the cookie. So then you kind of fill it in, hence the word
Flooding.
flooding. So and after you outline it, you can decorate. So I'm going to use what we call a wet on wet technique. So this is icing, and this is obviously wet icing, so I can just do a design on my star. There's some cool techniques where you can drag the icing out, make it look fancy. And that's my world famous sugar cookies. Oh, and then once they're all done, you get the best part of all. You get to eat them.
Thanks for watching RHA Eats at Home with the Cyperskis. Try the cookies. Let us know how you like them.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
So now my brother is going to act like Vanna White to show you all of our ingredients. So we have salt. There we go. There's salt. Brown sugar. There you go. Flour. granulated sugar, old-fashioned oats, craisins, you got our baking soda and vanilla extract, unsalted butter, make sure it's unsalted. That's very important. We have 2 extra large eggs, room temperature, 2. We got our mixing bowl, and then we have our bittersweet chocolate. You ready, Luke? Alright, so now we're going to preheat our oven. Let's preheat to 375. Line our baking sheet. We're going to line it with this thing. Makes it non-stick.
Silicone mat.
Silicone mat, thank you.
That was a Christmas present from Brennan last year.
Yes. It was
Completely self-serving.
It was mainly for myself, for baking. Now, we're going to beat the butter, brown sugar, and granulated sugar on medium-high speed. Now, we don't have like one of those KitchenAid things, so we're going old-fashioned with the hand mixer. Bring it in. So now we're going to scrape down the sides of the bowl with a rubber spatula. And then what's next, Luke? Eggs and vanilla, right?
Now, are these fresh eggs?
No.
From your personal chicken's butts?
Oh my god. Why'd you have to put it like that? This is the basis of our cookie dough. So we're going to put 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Very carefully, very carefully. Oh, okay, get some. Alright, that's about 1, I guess. This is going to make Matt very angry.
I don't
Not
really
precise.
care.
Oh, wow. Not precise in the slightest.
It's good enough.
Flour, baking soda, salt, sift.
Tip by Luke, don't put it in the dishwasher, because I did that and had to get Mom a new.
That's a good tip.
Yes.
Okay. Alright. 1 teaspoon of salt, so that's 1, 2. And then 1 teaspoon of baking powder.
Nope, that's baking soda.
Let's throw back to our old video where I tell you what the difference is.
Soda spread, powder puff. So baking powder makes things rise, while baking soda makes things expand. That's a tip by Brennan. Tip from Brennan. I don't know, either or.
Alright, welcome back. How are we doing, Doc? Good? Looking good? Oh, okay. That's what we're not supposed to do. Because
it's good enough.
Anything that's
It's good enough.
So now we're going to mix in the oats. Mix in the oats. No, in here. Wait, right?
Oats go dry.
Oh, oats go dry. Yeah. I'm sorry, Matt's gonna hate this.
Well, that's not here.
But he's gonna watch it and he's gonna hate it because he's a baker. Oh, I didn't tell you what any of this was. This was 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 1/4 cup of old-fashioned oats. Okay. Let's welcome back to the stage my mother. Okay, so now we have 60% cacao, bittersweet chocolate. See that?
Is that really how you pronounce it? Cacao?
What do you... Cacao?
I've never heard it pronounced cacao.
How do you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Cocoa? Like...
I don't know, but I've never heard cacao.
Mom's gonna give this a rough chop. We want some jagged edges. We don't want it to be perfect. We don't want it to be fine. Give it a rough chop. Chop that. Oh, let me clean this up.
Oh, God.
Oh, rough chopping it. For this, you need a really sharp knife. You want a sharp chef's knife.
Yeah, nothing you had at school, sharp.
Yeah, don't.
You'll lose a finger.
Yeah.
Did you tell people that it's worse, it's more dangerous to cook with a unsharpened knife than a very sharp knife? Tip by Mom. Always more dangerous to cut with a unsharpened knife than a well-sharpened knife.
Very well said.
Yes. So 6 ounces of chocolate, and now 3/4 of a cup of cranberries. Craisins. Because this is salty, you're gonna top it with a little salt, and they want fleur de sel, which is some sort of flaky salt, very thin. But we're not gonna use that.
We got old school kosher salt.
Old school kosher. Let's try the bittersweet chocolate.
What's the first bite? What are you thinking?
It's good. It tastes like chocolate. Then they're gonna attack me for the way I said chocolate.
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 Alright, so now we're going to take our cookie dough scooper. I think it calls for like a 1.5 inch, 1 3/4. We don't have that. We have this one, which is, I don't know, inch? It doesn't matter. We're gonna take it. Look, this great silicone mat. Look at that! Look how incredible that is! And it spaces it out.
And we're saving the planet.
And we're saving the planet. And then we're gonna top it all with salt, throw it in the oven, which is at 375, for about 10 to 12 minutes until nicely browned. And we're gonna put them on this cooling rack. Alright, so now we're gonna top with a little bit of salt. Because these are salty oatmeal chocolate chunk craisin cookies. Very long name. Alright, let's get a little salt on it.
Show us the technique, Lukey. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Nice, very nice.
Good enough.
So if you want to cover all of them, you want to go from a higher distance. I'm going to do a little on each one like that. See that? A little individual salt.
I have to say I'm partial to Luke's technique.
Now we're going to throw this. Throw it. We're going to put this in our oven for about 10 minutes. Alexa, please set a timer for 10 minutes.
It's only 55.
10 minutes, starting now.
It's been 10 minutes. Let's take a look at the cookies. They look perfect. Golden brown on the edges. So now we're going to take them out, let them cool for a little bit, then we're going to transfer them to this wire cooling rack, and then we have another batch in. Alright, so we finished baking all of our cookies, and this is how they've come out. Look at that. Delicious. Let's try it, Lukey. A little taste. Delicious. You got the saltiness, but then the sweet from the chocolate and the craisins. What do you think?
Scrumptious.
Scrumptious? I love that. Fantastic. Alright, these are the salty chocolate chunk oatmeal cookies with craisins by Anna Garten in the Make It Ahead book. Check it out. Food Network someplace. Maybe a link in bio. Who knows? Alright, now let's send it off to our next e-board member or advisor.
Maybe what if we're last?
What?
What if we're last?
Oh, that would be bad.
Let's hope we're not last.
If we're last, then have a great day. We'll see you for season 2 of RHA EATS.